All right, let's dive in today. We're going to be talking all about fitness and nutrition,
Okay.
specifically with Brian Keane's book, The Fitness Mindset.
Awesome.
Have you heard of it?
I have, yeah. Brian's been around for quite a while.
Yeah, he's been in the game for like 17 years working with thousands of clients, so it seems like he really knows his stuff.
Yeah, you can tell by the book.
And so today, what we're going to be doing is really kind of breaking down some of the core elements that he talks about
Yeah.
that I think are really going to be useful for all of us to increase energy, get in shape, and achieve our fitness goals.
Love it.
So first, we're going to kind of break down some of the core elements of nutrition.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about calories, macros, blood sugar, and then we're going to kind of tie that into exercise and even sleep, because there's some surprising things I think you probably haven't considered before about how your food choices can actually impact your sleep quality.
Yeah. Looking forward to that.
So first off, the book kicks off talking about calories and macros, and I think these are things that everybody's heard of. Right.
But a lot of people don't really know exactly what they are or how they work.
Definitely, and it can get confusing.
Yes. So to simplify it, I thought this analogy was really helpful that Keane talks about in his book.
Yeah.
He talks about how calories are basically like fuel for your car.
Yeah, it's such a good analogy to make it simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you need a certain amount of fuel to actually get your car to work and function.
Right.
And your body is kind of the same way.
Exactly. And so he says that there's this really simple formula for calculating calorie needs.
Yeah, and it's really good to know for anyone listening.
Yeah.
So calories is essentially equal to your protein grams multiplied by 4, plus your carb grams multiplied by 4, plus your fat grams multiplied by 9.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he even gives an example in the book, like, let's say you eat 100 grams of protein, 200 grams of carbs, and 50 grams of fat. Then, according to the formula, your daily caloric intake would be 12,210 calories.
Wow. Okay, so that makes sense. But like, if it were that easy, we'd all have like 6-packs, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the thing is like most calorie counters and things like that don't really work
Yeah.
because they don't account for individual differences.
Right.
So you have to look at things like height and weight and age, your activity level, and even your genetics.
Okay.
Like all of these play a factor into how many calories you should be consuming.
So those like generic diet plans, I'm guessing those are not the way to go.
No, they don't really work for most people.
Okay. So we need to understand our individual needs,
Yeah.
but then he goes beyond that.
Yeah.
And this is something that I have personally found to be like game changing,
Yeah.
is he talks about digestion and blood sugar.
Yeah. Such an important topic that's often overlooked.
Yeah.
You know, weight loss isn't just about calories in, calories out.
Right.
It's about so much more. And digestion and blood sugar play a crucial role in this.
Totally. He has this quote in the book that I love. He says, it's not just about what you eat, but what you absorb.
Yes, such a good point.
So have you ever had like a supposedly healthy meal, but then afterward you just felt like sluggish and unsatisfied?
All the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so common. And people don't realize that that's actually related to their blood sugar.
Totally. And so he talks about how like blood sugar spikes and crashes can really like mess with your energy levels. You can feel fatigue.
Yeah.
You can feel like mood swings, cravings for sugary snacks.
Yeah, all of that is related.
Wow.
It's amazing how much of an effect it has on us.
So we've got to stabilize blood sugar.
Yeah, for sure.
Make sure that we're actually absorbing the nutrients from the food we eat.
Exactly.
Okay, now to get into like the building blocks, he talks about macronutrients.
Yeah.
And he actually uses like the Webster Dictionary definition, which I thought was really helpful.
Yeah.
He says it's a type of food required in large amounts in the diet.
Okay.
So that means we're talking about proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. So let's break down those one by one and like how we can use those to our advantage.
Awesome. Let's do it.
So first off, protein. This is like the superstar of the macronutrients.
It really is.
I think like most people think about it as just for muscle growth.
Right, which is important.
Which is like super important.
Yeah.
But I was surprised to learn that like protein can be used for energy as well.
Oh, yeah. Your body can actually use protein for energy
Wow.
when carbs are scarce.
Really?
Yeah. It's amazing how adaptable the body is.
That's so interesting. I had no idea.
Yeah.
So it's really like essential for tissue repair, immune function, hormone production. Wow. So even if you're not like hitting the gym every day,
Yeah.
it's still super important.
Yeah. Protein is crucial for everyone.
Okay. And then there's this whole thing about like complete and incomplete proteins.
Yes.
Like, I hear this all the time and I don't really know what that means.
Yeah. And it can be a bit confusing.
Yeah. Can you break that down for me?
So Keane actually goes into this, and it's particularly important, I think, for vegetarians and vegans because they might not be getting all the essential amino acids from plant-based sources.
Right.
So he really emphasizes combining different protein sources,
Okay.
like nuts and seeds, with legumes or grains
Right.
to get that complete protein profile.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's a simple way to make sure you're getting everything you need.
Okay, I like that. And then he's also a really big advocate for like choosing high quality animal products.
Yes, definitely.
So what does that mean?
Basically, avoiding things like factory farmed meat and fish
Okay.
because of the hormones and antibiotics going to be.
Right.
He's really concerned about the impact those can have on our health.
Yeah, it makes you think about like where your food is coming from.
Exactly.
And I think more and more people are becoming conscious of that.
Definitely.
Okay, so that's protein. Now let's talk about fat, because I think fat has gotten like a really bad rap.
It has. It's so demonized.
Yeah, like fat makes you fat.
Right. Everyone used to think that.
That's what we were told. But actually, Keane completely challenges that notion.
He does. He really breaks it down.
He's like, healthy fats are actually essential
Yes, they are.
for optimal health and even fat loss.
Yeah.
So how does that work?
So he explains that healthy fats play this crucial role in like hormone regulation, satiety, and even cellular function.
Okay.
It's all about choosing the right types of fat.
Right.
He breaks it down into those different categories like saturated, monounsaturated, and polyunsaturated.
Oh, yeah, I've heard those terms before, but I always forget, like, which is which.
Yeah, it can be a bit confusing, but he explains it in a way that's really easy to understand.
Okay, good. So what should we be focusing on?
So he really emphasizes omega-3s and omega-6 fatty acids.
Okay.
Many Western diets are actually deficient in omega-3s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and you can get those from things like fatty fish, nuts, and seeds.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then he also goes on to debunk this myth of like heart-healthy vegetable oils,
Interesting.
which I always thought was interesting. Yeah, me too.
He explains how, they're not actually vegetables and they
yeah.
can be detrimental to your health.
Wow. Okay, so what we should be like tossing out our vegetable oil?
Yeah, those processed vegetable oils especially.
Okay,
It's best to get your fats from whole food sources.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's those. What about trans fats? Those are the really bad ones, right?
Yeah, trans fats are like public enemy #1.
Okay.
They're found in a lot of those processed foods,
Right.
deep fried goodies,
Yeah.
and they can really contribute to fat storage. And they increase the risk of all these health problems.
So we should be avoiding those as much as possible.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, good to know. All right, last one.
Yeah.
Carbohydrates.
Yes.
The body's primary source of energy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know there's like a lot of debate
There is.
about carbs, like some people swear them off completely.
Right.
So where does Keane fall on this?
So he actually gives a balanced perspective on it.
He acknowledges that carbohydrates are really essential for energy,
Okay.
especially for active individuals.
Mm-hmm.
But he also cautions against like overdoing it,
Right.
especially when it comes to refined sugars and processed foods,
Okay.
because those can lead to fat gain and blood sugar imbalances.
So it's all about like choosing the right types and then eating them in moderation.
Exactly.
Okay, now what about fruit? Because I hear like so many conflicting things about fruit.
Yeah.
Is it good for you? Is it bad for you?
Yeah, it's tricky because it gets lumped into that healthy category,
Right.
but it can impact your blood sugar.
Oh, okay.
So he presents both sides of the argument,
Okay.
highlighting that it's a great source of vitamins and minerals,
Yeah.
but that fructose content can spike your blood sugar,
Okay.
which might not be good if you're trying to lose fat.
So it's not as simple as like food is good or bad. It's
Right.
all about like being mindful of it,
Yeah.
what type, the quantity, and when you're eating it.
Exactly. It's about finding a balance
Yeah.
that works for you.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And I think that kind of ties back into what we were talking about with blood sugar.
It does.
Like when your blood sugar is stable,
Yeah.
you feel more energized, you're more focused, and you're less likely to like overeat.
Absolutely. And that's why he gives these 4 tips
Okay.
for keeping your blood sugar balanced.
I like tips. Give me the tips.
So eating small meals every 3 hours,
Okay.
avoiding those processed foods,
Mm-hmm.
incorporating healthy fats,
Okay.
and consuming slow-releasing carbs,
Oh, okay.
like at specific times, like in the morning or after a workout.
So like strategic carb consumption.
Exactly.
Okay, now this is something I bet you haven't considered before.
What?
What you eat
Mm-hmm.
can actually affect how well you sleep.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I
Oh.
didn't really think about that connection.
So he talks about this link between diet and sleep
Okay.
and how certain food choices can either promote or hinder a good night's sleep. And he also explains this concept of the circadian rhythm, which I'd heard of, but I didn't really understand,
Yeah.
and how it impacts like hormone production and your sleep patterns.
Yeah.
So I've always struggled with sleep. Like I'm constantly tossing and turning and never feel rested.
Yeah, I've been there.
So I was really curious about like what kind of diet hacks he recommends to improve sleep.
Okay, well, he shares 3 strategies that he's found really effective.
Okay.
So the first one is incorporating MCT oil
Okay.
or complex carbs,
Okay.
like oats, into your evening meal.
Hold on, carbs before bed.
I know it sounds counterintuitive,
Yeah.
but he explains how these choices can actually help you sleep better
Okay.
by influencing your hormone levels.
Okay.
So, for example, MCT oil, it gets converted into ketones,
Okay.
and it provides an alternative energy source for your brain while you sleep.
Oh, interesting.
And then complex carbs can help replenish liver glycogen,
Mm-hmm.
which your brain relies on during the night for energy.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to have to try that.
Yeah, it's worth experimenting with.
What about the honey?
Oh, yeah, so raw honey, just a small amount before bed,
Okay.
can actually help you relax and fall asleep.
Okay.
It increases your insulin levels and allows tryptophan to enter your brain.
So it's like a natural sleep aid.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm sold. I'm going to try that tonight.
Yeah.
So we've covered like a lot
Yeah.
from calories and macros
Mm.
all the way to blood sugar and how what we eat can affect our sleep.
Yeah, and it's all connected.
Yeah, it's amazing how it's all like interconnected.
It really is.
And it all plays a role in our overall health and well-being.
It's fascinating.
I'm learning so much.
Me too.
All right, well, that's it for this part of the deep dive.
Okay.
We're going to be back in part 2 to break down Keane's approach to training, which goes beyond just hitting the gym.
Looking forward to it.
All right, so make sure you tune back in for that.
Okay, see you then.
Bye.
Bye. Welcome back. So we just covered all that nutrition stuff and sleep.
Yeah, all the groundwork.
Yeah, that's super important.
Super important.
But I know a lot of you guys are here for the training.
Yeah, time to break a sweat.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think the thing is, a lot of people find the gym intimidating.
For sure.
You know, all the machines and like the routines and like, how do you even know where to start?
Right.
So Keane really breaks it down in a way that feels very approachable.
Yeah, and he doesn't believe in that. More is always better.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah, you don't have to spend hours and hours in the gym.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, he actually almost quit fitness in his early 20s because of that.
Really?
Yeah, he was overtraining.
And not seeing results.
Yeah, he was getting minimal results.
So I think a lot of us have been there.
For sure.
You know, we think if we just push harder, longer, that we'll see the results.
Right, but it's actually the opposite.
Yeah.
Quality over quantity.
I like that.
Yeah.
So what's the alternative?
So he's a big advocate for what's called a push-pull leg split.
Okay, I've heard of that, but like, what does that mean?
So it's all about targeting different muscle groups.
Okay.
So you're working each one efficiently,
Okay.
at least once a week,
Okay.
or even twice if you're training 5 or 6 days a week.
Gotcha. So what is push, pull, legs? Like, what does that look like?
Okay, so push is basically anything where you're pushing weight away from your body.
Okay.
So think like chest presses,
Okay.
shoulder presses, triceps extensions.
Okay, so like literally pushing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anything where you're pushing outward.
Got it.
And then pull is the opposite.
Okay.
It's pulling the weight towards you.
Okay.
So back exercises like rows and pull-ups and bicep curls.
Okay.
Yeah, and then legs is pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so I like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're not just wandering around the gym.
Right.
You have a plan.
Exactly.
It's like very strategic and organized.
Yeah.
So does he like give specific routines?
Yeah, he actually outlines a full training program. He gives you exercise descriptions, sets, reps, rest periods.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty comprehensive.
Yeah, it's all laid out for you. And he even has videos on his website
Nice.
that show you the proper form for each exercise.
Form is so important.
Oh, it's crucial.
I'm always like afraid I'm doing it wrong.
Right, and that's why he really emphasizes this tension style training.
Oh, what's that?
So it's all about keeping the muscle under tension
Okay.
throughout the entire movement.
Interesting.
Yeah, so he recommends a specific tempo,
Oh.
like 2 seconds down, 1 second pause, 2 seconds up.
Wow, I've never even thought about that.
Right, most people just like go through the motion.
Yeah, I'm just trying to like get it done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But when you slow down
Okay.
and you really focus on the contraction and the extension of the muscle,
Okay.
you increase that time under tension.
Got it.
So
Yeah.
you're getting more muscle activation.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, you're getting more out of each rep.
Yeah, like really squeezing
Yeah, and you're really feeling the muscle work.
instead of just mindlessly.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the structure, we've got form. What else?
So he also introduces these two techniques
Okay.
called rest pause and drop sets.
Ooh, I've heard of those.
Yeah. Have you tried them?
I don't really know what they are.
Okay, so rest pause is basically
Okay.
you take a short break during a set
Okay.
when you reach muscle failure.
Okay.
So you can eke out a few more reps.
So it's like a mini recovery within the set.
Exactly.
That's interesting. Okay, what about drop sets?
So drop sets are about like keeping that momentum going.
Yeah.
So keeping that momentum going.
Okay.
So you reduce the weight after you hit muscle failure
Okay.
and you continue the set until you fail again.
So it's like extra brutal.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
Okay, so I'm seeing why it's all about quality over quantity.
Exactly.
They're getting the most out of every rep.
Yeah, and speaking of getting the most out of your workout,
Yeah?
what about cardio?
Oh, yeah, where does that fit in?
So he's not anti-cardio at all.
Okay, good.
He recognizes that it's important for fat loss and overall health,
Yeah.
but he explains the difference between LIC-OS and HIT.
Okay, remind me what those are again?
So LIC-OS is low-intensity, steady state.
Okay.
So think jogging, cycling at a moderate pace for like 30 minutes or more.
Yeah. Okay.
And then HIT is high-intensity interval training.
Right, the bursts.
Exactly, short bursts of intense exercise,
Okay.
like sprinting
Yeah.
or burpees.
Okay.
And then you have brief recovery periods.
Okay, so does he, like, prefer one over the other?
He tends to favor HIT,
Okay.
especially for busy people.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but he also provides guidance on how to choose the best approach for you.
Okay.
And then he has this interesting thing about when you do your cardio.
Oh, yeah, he talks about depleting glycogen stores?
Yes.
What's that about?
So glycogen is your body's primary fuel source.
Oh, okay.
So he recommends doing your weight training first
Okay.
to deplete those stores.
Okay.
So then when you do your cardio,
Yep.
your body has to tap into fat reserves for energy.
Interesting, so it's like a strategy.
Yeah, to maximize your fat burning.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
So we've got strength training, we've got
Right.
cardio,
Mm.
but the book's called The Fitness Mindset. It's
Right.
not just about the physical stuff.
Exactly. So in the next part,
Okay.
we're going to dive into that mental and emotional side of fitness.
Okay.
Because he has a ton of strategies for creating positive habits,
Yeah.
managing stress, overcoming those inner critics,
Yeah.
all those things that can hold you back.
It's so true. Like, you can have the best plan,
Yeah.
but if you don't have the mindset,
Right.
it's not going to work.
It's not going to stick.
All right. Well, I'm excited to get into that in part 3.
Me too.
Okay, so we've talked about nutrition, we've talked about sleep, training, but now it's time to get into the nitty-gritty, the really important stuff,
The fun stuff.
the mindset.
Yeah.
And this is where I think Keane's book really shines.
It does. This is where he really brings it all together.
He does. He dedicates a significant portion of the book to mindset,
Yeah.
and he offers a bunch of really practical strategies
Yeah.
for building resilience, self-awareness, and just like unwavering determination.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically makes the argument that, like, without a strong mindset,
Yeah.
even the most perfect diet and training plan
Oh, really?
will eventually crumble.
It's
And I think we've all experienced that,
Yeah.
like those moments of self-sabotage when, like, our inner critic takes over
Yeah.
and we fall back into those old patterns.
Oh, yeah, we've all been there.
Right, and Keane is very open about that.
He is. He's really honest.
He talks about his own struggles
Yeah.
with, like, self-doubt and
Yeah.
those negative thought patterns that held him back for years.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes the book so powerful.
It does.
He's not just preaching from some, like, pedestal.
Right.
He's been there.
Yeah, he gets it.
Yeah.
What really stood out to me was his emphasis on habits.
Oh, yeah. Habits are everything.
He's like, our habits, both good and bad,
Mm.
ultimately shape our lives.
They really do. They're so powerful.
And he actually breaks down, like, the science of habit formation.
Yeah.
He talks about Charles Duhigg, who wrote that book, The Power of Habit.
Yeah, that's a great book.
Yeah, I've read that one too.
Yeah.
And so he basically explains that, like, habits are basically these automated behaviors
Yeah.
that we develop through repetition and reinforcement.
Hmm.
So, like, how do we get out of those bad habits?
Right. How do we change?
How do we create new ones that actually support us?
Well, he has this whole framework for that.
Okay.
Like step by step, how to identify your triggers,
Okay.
establish rewards,
Okay.
and just create an environment that's going to support those new habits.
Yeah. I love that analogy he uses about like the guy riding the horse.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
So somebody asks the guy, "Where are you going?" And he's like, "I don't know, ask the horse."
Yeah, basically.
And so it's like our habits are the horse.
They're in control.
Right.
Yeah.
And we don't even realize it.
Right.
And so Keane like empowers us to take control of those reins.
Take the reins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually steer ourselves in the direction that we want to go.
Exactly.
Okay, another thing he talks about.
Yeah.
Find your why.
Oh, yeah. Your why is so important.
It's not enough to just have like a vague goal.
Right. It has to be deeper than that.
You need like a deep, compelling reason that fuels your actions. And I think he said it really beautifully in the book.
Yeah.
He said it's like your why is the answer to the question, why am I doing this?
Yeah, and it has to resonate with you on a deeper level.
Yes, and he shared his why.
Oh,
And it was really moving.
Yeah, what was it?
It was about being a healthy and present father for his daughter.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and I think that's so powerful because it reminds us that like our why can be so much bigger than ourselves.
It can be. It can be for your family, for your community,
Right.
for something you're passionate about.
Yeah, and so when we tap into that why,
Yeah.
it unlocks this like wellspring of purpose
Yeah.
and resilience that helps us to like overcome any obstacle.
It's true. It gives you that extra push.
Okay, but let's be real.
Yeah.
Stress, anxiety, worry,
Oh, yeah. Those are the big ones.
those can get in the way.
For sure.
And Keene's very real about the fact that, like,
Yeah.
these are normal human experiences and they happen to everyone.
Even the people who seem like they have it all together.
Exactly. And he talks about his own struggles with anxiety.
He does. He's really open about it.
He talks about, like, sleepless nights,
Yeah.
feeling overwhelmed with worry and fear.
Yeah. Those are tough emotions to deal with.
And what I appreciate is, like, he doesn't offer, like,
Yeah.
these cliche platitudes.
No quick fixes.
Yeah, he actually dives into very practical strategies for managing those emotions,
Yeah. I like that about him.
drawing on science, personal experience,
Yeah.
even ancient wisdom.
It's a good blend.
So he basically explains that, like,
Yeah.
stress, anxiety, worry, they're all just physiological and psychological responses
Yeah.
to perceived threats or challenges.
Right.
And so once we understand that, like,
Yeah.
the root of those responses,
Yeah.
we can start to develop strategies to, like, manage them.
Exactly. It's about awareness.
Right. So it's about, like, becoming aware of the triggers. Is it a toxic relationship?
Could be.
Is it a demanding job?
Yeah.
Is it our own negative thought pattern?
Often it is.
Right.
Yeah.
And then once we're aware of those triggers,
Yeah.
we can start to explore different techniques to manage it.
Exactly. Things like mindfulness, meditation,
Right.
exercise, even diet.
Yeah, I thought it was fascinating how he talked about how, like, certain foods can actually make anxiety worse, and then other foods can promote, like, calm and well-being.
It's amazing how much food affects us.
Really is.
Yeah.
And then he also talks about, like, the importance of your social circle.
Oh, yeah. That's huge.
Surround yourself with positive, supportive people.
Well, the people you spend time with really matters.
It really does.
Yeah.
And then conversely, like,
Yeah.
distancing yourself from people who are, like, energy vampires.
Those energy drainers.
Right. They just bring you down.
Yeah, get rid of them.
So it's all about creating an environment that supports you.
It is.
Okay, so towards the end of the book,
Yeah.
he kind of like distills his wisdom
Yeah.
into 10 life lessons.
He does. It's like a cheat sheet.
It is. It's like if you only remember these 10 things,
Yeah.
you'll be good.
We'll be set.
And some of the things he talks about are like
Yeah.
embrace challenges, learn from mistakes,
Yeah.
be kind to yourself,
Yeah.
be kind to others, focus on what you can control. Never stop learning and growing.
It's good stuff.
And it's such a good reminder that like life is actually pretty simple,
It is.
but we tend to make it complicated.
We do.
Yeah.
We overcomplicate things.
And then in his acknowledgments,
Yeah.
he expresses gratitude for everyone who supported him along the way.
Ah, that's nice.
It's a really nice reminder that, like,
Yeah.
we're not in this alone.
We're not. We need each other.
And our successes are often the result of, like, a collective effort.
A team effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he ends the book with a dedication to his mother and his daughter.
That's sweet.
And it's so sweet. And it's just this really heartfelt conclusion to a book that's filled with so much wisdom and practical advice.
It is. It's a great book.
So we've reached the end of our deep dive into Brian Keane's The Fitness Mindset.
We did it.
We did it.
Yeah.
You've heard the science, the strategies, the mindset shifts that can really help you to achieve your fitness goals and create a life that is filled with energy, vitality, and fulfillment.
Absolutely.
But remember, it's not about perfection.
Yeah.
It's about progress.
Progress, not perfection.
Embrace the journey, learn along the way, and never give up on yourself.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And as Keane reminds us, you are the author of your own story.
You are.
Don't let anyone else hold the pen.
Love that.
So go out there, embrace the challenge,
Yeah.
and start writing your fitness success story.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
It was fun. And